black light. Now, I'm going to pick it up a little bit, but I'm not going to play the whole thing because I want to play the King Alfred plan. This is talking about Jim Jones being a CIA agent. If you don't know who Jim Jones is, look it up. And look up, try to get that tape when Jim Jones was invited to the Nation of Islam when Wallace D. Muhammad invited him. Farrakhan was down with Wallace D. Muhammad.
What we have here is, Leo goes down there, and the question is, was Dwyer there? Working there from time, he was with the CIA since 1959 in Guyana. We have photographs of Dwyer with his arms around Marceline Jones and Jim Jones out there. We have Dwyer going back to Jonestown after Leo's shooting, and Jones getting wiped out. So what we're trying to, we now have an admission back to the Senate Intelligence Committee, for example, that they now admit that Dwyer was CIA and is CIA. If what I'm doing is this: you're asking a question on CIA and the definite involvement. They always deny. They denied that Dwyer was a CIA agent when he first charged it. They now admit it. They only admit what you can prove. We have here a copy of a document called Who's Who in the CIA. One of these attachments here, listing Dwyer as CIA since 1959 and where he's been.
Well, let me get back to my original question. I asked you, since you made the statement that you felt the CIA was using People's Temple as an experiment. My question was Jim Jones aware of it? Was he part of that experiment?
If that experiment exists, because I'm saying to you that this possibility has been raised, strong possibility raised. I'm inclined to believe it, I can't be sure, but I'm saying yes, that if such an experiment was there, Jones would have had to have been part of it and would have had to have led that experiment. Let me read to you this one statement from Jones, which is quoted in a guy, I can't give you the source because it's the book The Strongest Poison by Mark Lane, and I know that Lane has lied in other parts of his book from personal experience. But there's a statement here, which you can read here, about Jones' claim that he was a true and loyal and patriotic American. It was a terrible shame he was obligated to remain in Guyana, and the world people would never know what a patriot he was. This is a statement from Jones, down in Jonestown. So what I would like to have you do, this is what I'm doing here, is very difficult for me to sort of shorthand this much documentation, but all I'm really doing is suggesting to you that I'm making this statement today to this forum. I've asked them to take the documentation I've attached, to consider going in and reviewing this data and conducting a further investigation on their own, especially the black community, among survivors, among relatives of that, to see what elements they can find there, to see, to either corroborate or disprove these statements about the...
You heard him say the black community. I hope you were listening and paying attention. If not, you can play this video over again. So we're going to pause it right here and flip the tape over to King Alfred. Now this tape here is over, this audio that I got is over 30 years old. Now we're getting ready to play this King Alfred plan, Rex 84. This is over 30 years old when I first started, when I recorded it and when I started getting involved in this King Alfred plan. But we're going to play as much as we can. This is the very first King Alfred plan.
Chairman, National Security Council. Preliminary memo, Department of Interior. Under King Alfred, the nation has been divided into 10 regions. See accompanying map. In case of emergency, minority members will be evacuated from the cities by federalized National Guard units, local and state police, and if necessary, by units of the regular armed forces using public and military transportation and detained in nearby military installations until a further course of action has been decided. And then it lists the various regions here, and I would note that there are 10 of them, and I'm going to come back to that in a second. 1, Capital Region, that's obviously Washington, D.C. 2, Northeast Region. 3, Southeast Region. 4, Great Lakes Region. 5, South Central Region. 6, Deep South Region. 7, Deep South Region 2. 8, Great Plains Rocky Mountain Region. 9, Southwest Region. 10, A and B, West Coast Region, A being north, apparently Washington and Oregon from the map, B being down in Southern California. Then the memo goes on, no attempt will be made to seal off the Canadian and Mexican borders. Before continuing with the King Alfred plan, I'd just like to hearken back to a provision here of Rex 84. And let me go back.
Rex 84, for those of you who are in the middle of this and are trying to follow and having a little problem, Rex 84, remember, is the confirmed plan mentioned at some length in the Sheehan affidavit that was put together by Oliver North and the folks over at FEMA Management. And we're going to be reading a short segment here down in the footnotes from the Sheehan affidavit about the some interesting correspondences between Rex 84 and the putative King Alfred plan.
Right, now, going from the King Alfred plan back to the Sheehan affidavit, it says here, according to Rex, it says, first, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, after deputizing all DOD personnel and state National Guard personnel, ostensibly so as to make such personnel civilians and to thereby avoid violating the congressionally enacted Posse Comitatus Act, would undertake to test its ability to seek out and to take into custody some 400,000 undocumented Central American aliens throughout the United States, and then to in turn set Central American aliens in 10 military detention centers to be established during this Rex 84 readiness exercise.
Now, did y'all hear that? That's what's happening now. That's what's happening now. It's over 30 years ago that it come to fruition. It's coming to fruition. And the reason why some of you might be, some of you that's on my channel that subscribe to me, you might be the eyes and ears for the CIA. You know, seeing where my head is at, seeing how my approach to dealing with this, and see who team I'm on. I'm a solo soldier. You know, I'm on the team of the Most High, whatever name you call him by. And it's my belief and suspicion that, let's just name them, Young Pharaoh, Sinetta, Seti, Poppy, Polite, some of the Hebrew Israelites, and even some of the Moors are down with the CIA program on YouTube and dividing and conquering. And the numbers that some of them have, even though they didn't scam the people out of money, but yet still the people still support them, could be contrived some kind of way, you know. And by my numbers being low, that's a good thing, because they know that I don't have the popularity, you know, and that shows you right there that, you know, my approach to this, I'm with the righteous, You know, I'm not asking for no money and no favors. I just want your ear. All I want you to do is to hear. And whether or not you deal with it, what I be telling you, it's all right, you know. So this tape right here, this audio been floating around for 30 or 40 years, and I've been dealing with it, listening to it, and watching all of this unfold right before my very eyes. That's why I say experience is the best teacher. Let's get into some more.
Footnote, it points out that these are to be 1, Fort Drum, New York, 2, Fort Indiantown Gap, Pennsylvania, 3, Fort A.P. Hill outside of the District of Columbia in Virginia, 4, Fort Benning, Georgia, 5, Eglin Air Force Base in Florida, 6, Camp Crone, Florida, this base to serve as the jointly FEMA INS Administration Interrogation Center, 7, Fort Chaffee in Arkansas, 8, Fort Huachuca, Arizona, which was also to serve as the U.S.-based Ground Communication Center for Operation Night Train, and 9, Eglin Air Force Base in California, and 1 outside of Oakdale, California. There is a remarkably close degree of correspondence between the 10 regional detention centers outlined under Rex 84 and the 10 regions under the King Alfred Plan. Continuing with the King Alfred Plan, again, we felt it was important to point out that unnerving similarity. Combined memo, Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigation, Central Intelligence Agency. There are 12 major minority organizations, and all are familiar to the 22 million. Dossiers have been compiled on the leaders of the organizations and can be studied in Washington. The material contained in many of the dossiers and our threat to reveal that material has considerably held in check the activities of some of the leaders. Leaders who do not have such usable material in their dossiers have been approached to take government posts, mostly as ambassadors and primarily in African countries. The promise of these positions also has materially contributed to a temporary slowdown of minority activities. However, we do not expect these slowdowns to be of long duration because there are always new and dissident elements joining these organizations with the potential power to replace the old leaders. All organizations and their leaders are under constant 24-hour surveillance. The organizations are 1, the Black Muslims, 2,
the Nation of Islam, the Black Muslim, but not just the Nation of Islam, all brothers that take on the religion of Islam, whether it be Orthodox or Sunni or Sufi here in the United States, or those that follow the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I believe that when young Pharaoh attacks all these groups, that he's more like a informant agent. He's not. He could be straight up an agent, CIA agent, but there's more agents in the Nation of Islam than it is anywhere. That's why the Nation of Islam, after the death of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, is not functioning anymore. I mean, anybody with any common sense, especially that been in the Nation of Islam, if they weren't too crazy, could see, where this is heading. A lot of brothers being in the Nation of Islam, they kind of mentally unbalanced, But anyway, we're going to pick it up on the next video, so keep up with me. Black Light.